Well, obviously, big game for us, the rivalry game, in-state rivalry game, which is huge for our program. So we're really excited about that. Got a lot of things we got to work on to be able to win a game, which is number one, we got to quit beating ourselves, and that's the most frustrating thing we're doing right now. We do a lot of things that are really good, but we don't do anything consistently enough to win, particularly in the turnover game. And had we turned the ball over one time Saturday, we win, but we didn't, and we haven't learned to do that yet. So that's the deal that we've got to get fixed to be a competitive football team, and so we'll run that out, see if we can get that again this week in practice, and then up there on Saturday and see what we can get done. Some questions?
Coach, you mentioned at the end of the game that you were looking for heart for the offense. Have you seen any of that in practice the last couple of days?
Well, today will be our first practice, so we have Mondays off for the NCAA rule, so we'll practice today. We've got to prepare better, and we had some things that were against us last week. Tuesday we got run off the field because of lightning. We don't have an indoor facility here, so we got half the practice done. Wednesday the field was flooded with water from a break in the the irrigation system, so we had 20 yards of field to practice on. So, but you have to overcome those things, and our players didn't handle it well, and we didn't practice well, and we didn't prepare well, and we didn't play well. So we're going to find the players that are going to prepare the right way and then go play, because it's like I was telling the players, if you prepare really well and you practice really hard, that doesn't guarantee you're going to win the game. But if you don't do that, you have zero chance to win the game, and that's every team. And so our guys have got to learn to be more consistent about the way they prepare so they can play more consistent.
Coach, like during the course of the game, the offensive line we talked about that after the game. As a play caller, like what can you do to move the football down the field, though, given these challenges that your offense has had right now? Like the personnel, you can't make drastic changes up front, I would imagine at this point. But
we don't have any other players to play right now. We've lost 3 of our top 4 offensive tackles were out before the first game for the season. So we don't have any other offensive linemen. This is it. This is all we have. And we gave up way too many sacks, and we didn't play well up front. The play calling thing is interesting that you bring that up, Jason, because I was telling the team, you have to give the coaches enough confidence where they can be aggressive play callers to score points. If you're going to be conservative and you're going to say, well, I can't call that play because we might throw an interception, I can't call that play because we might fumble, you're not going to win. And right now, that's what our players are doing to us as an offense. And so, we've got to call games aggressively. We've got to play games aggressively, and our players have just got to go out and play like they're capable of. I showed them a film yesterday of all the good plays in that game where we look like a dynamic football team on both sides of the ball, but we don't do it consistently enough. And that's the key for us, is getting some consistency, because we got the talent, we got the guys that can do it, but they've got to do it consistently in a game.
It seems like maybe has there been enough explosion plays in this season so far? It seems like when you guys are clicking, you're getting big plays.
Yeah, well, we had a lot in the second half Saturday against San Diego State. I don't think anybody's has any against Alabama, and that type of deal. But San Diego State, certainly in the second half, we had a lot, and it was headed the right direction. It's like I say, but we don't do things consistently enough. When you first play of the game, you complete a pass and fumble. That's you're killing yourself, and that's what's so frustrating to me about that game. It's one of the most frustrating games I've had in 34 years of coaching, because we were good enough to win that football game, and we gave it away, and we literally gave it away. And that's what our players have got to be. It has to hurt them as much as it hurts the coaching staff, or they're not going to change, and they've got to change the way they value the football.
With the turnovers, does that come down to just a mental thing at this point, or are you guys trying to do too much?
Yeah, it gets to be, after a while, it gets in their head, and they start worrying about it too much, and then they play conservative, or they fumble because they're worried about it. So I made the point to them last night. The team that I think we're tied with in the nation for the most turnovers is Hawaii. The difference is Hawaii's scoring 32 points a game, and we're scoring 9. So if you're going to turn the ball over, fine. You better go score points, though, so we can win. And so that's where it is. They can't have it both ways. They can't not score points and turn the ball over. So, it's a challenge for our offensive players to grow up, mature, be men, face the adversity, face the criticism, and get better. If you want to be a great player, you got to play great on Saturdays. and that's the goal.
I know it's a tough road game, but like, do you look at UNM as a team that may, like, we talked about San Diego State's defense, but it seems like they have a new coordinator up there. It seems like maybe you can score on the Lobos if you take care of the football.
I mean, you know, we can't score on Mayfield High School unless we start not fumbling the ball and not throwing interceptions all over the place. I mean, that's seriously, that really is. I mean, we can score on anybody if we don't do those things. That's really what the game comes down to for us. And so, you know, New Mexico is going to be a tough team to play. They've got every resource in the world up there. I mean, they've got an indoor facility, they got money, they got great conference. They should be at the top of that conference every year. So, I mean, they got everything going for them. They got great players. And you know, they stuffed Notre Dame for the whole first half of that game. Third down, Notre Dame couldn't get a first down. So, you know, it's going to be a challenge. We're going to have to play our best.
How are they different defensively, if at all, from last year, from previous years?
They're pretty much the same as what they were, but particularly at the end of last year, you know, they kind of changed coordinators, but it was within the coaching staff. So, I mean, it's a 50 defense and, you know, pretty much the same as what they've always done.
You brought up that Notre Dame game. How much do you kind of take from that? Obviously, it's a tough game going up to Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same as us playing Alabama. It's the same deal. But, I mean, their players played hard. They played physical. They've got great team speed. New Mexico does. You know, like I say, their defensive front held their own with Notre Dame. Notre Dame did not knock them off the ball. They got some, you know, cheap little reverse plays and jet sweeps and things like that worked for them. But as far as just lining up and playing base football, New Mexico held their own very well.
JV talked about after the game that the UNM series or UTEP series, like, that can kind of reset a season if you go out there and win. Do you guys see it the same way? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean these games are huge. You know, you beat New Mexico, then you know you won the in-state rivalry, which is huge. And you look at the history of New Mexico State. The years you win that game, you've got a chance to have a pretty good year. The year you win both those rival games, you're going to have a good year. So it's certainly, there's every opportunity in the world out here for us, and we just got to go play and make it happen.
do you have any injuries?
Hartfield rolled an ankle, so I think he's doubtful for this game. Drew Dan broke his wrist, will have to have surgery, so he'll be out for the season. And other than that, we're just like we were.
Would you be happy to see Coach Davey on the other side of the sidelines?
I'd love to see Bob out there. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I've texted with him and over this process, and just wish him all the best. And a good man, and just really hope he's back on the field soon.
Drew, you said Roy, is there kind of an update on him?
I don't think Roy will be ready this week. He's still got a lot of swelling in the leg, and that's what they're trying to get out. So doesn't look like he'll be ready this week.
What have you seen from their quarterbacks? And I know there are quite a few. Does it matter which one they have out there for you?
I mean, they're going to run the same offense. Doesn't really matter which one is there. I mean, some of them, run better than they throw and throw better than they run, those type of things. And, I'm sure we may see a couple of different ones, but it doesn't affect us very much.
What do they do with their offense? Is it still the triple option? Or?
No, they've gotten away from triple option, Jack. It's more of a spread offense now. They hired the coordinator that was at Liberty last year, so they're throwing the ball a lot more than what they have in the past, trying to get their skilled guys to make more plays out in space. So not very much triple option stuff anymore.